Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Michael. I'm with the product marketing team here at Make. And as I say, I'm very excited to be hosting this session with Renee, who's the founder of the Win Growth Automation Agency. We're going to be talking about a very exciting topic, how to build a complete AI content engine that scales with you. So as you all know, for any business in 2025, it's an absolute non-negotiable. There's no getting around it. You need to be consistently creating content as part of your commercial plans. And content, very good content, is how you can attract leads, how you can educate your audience on your business and services, or even initiate or influence conversations in your field or industry to be a thought leader. Um, but as we know, creating good content for a lot of teams, and I can speak to this personally, I'm in the product marketing team, usually means hours and hours of time spent manually doing usually multiple jobs, sourcing content, drafting it, editing, making sure they align with your company's tone of voice, making sure it meets each channel's requirements. The list goes on. So the time and resources, as I'm sure you all know, can really start to pile up. So Renee, if I can bring you in now, please just tell us, what kind of results, have your clients been able to see with the solution you're going to share with us today?
100%. Thank you, Michael. So in terms of result, the obvious here is the amount of time saved per month for everyone in the team that's trying to create content. Here we put a very conservative estimate of 20 plus hours saved monthly. But again, this is very, very conservative. If I just take myself, for example, just today, it took me 2 hours to do a YouTube video. So if I want to be posting on different platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, it's not unreasonable to think that you're saving 40, 50 hours per month on each individual's making content for your own business. And so if you're a small team, 4 or 5 people, and everyone's making content for the business, that's quite a lot of hours saved. In terms of audience impacted, 42K is what I saw personally on my own brand, and I have a small following compared to other people. And 42K is a major impact for me. Also, I have clients that have small following and they've been seeing great results that are similar to this. But again, it's a conservative measure. If yourself, you have a better following, it can grow quite rapidly.
And 20 plus hours is obviously quite a conservative estimate. So if you multiply that out, then yeah, the possibilities are endless. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, that's basically what we'll be exploring today, how you can achieve similar results for yourselves and for your business. So the agenda today, pretty straightforward. We'll do some quick introductions. I'll introduce Make for anyone who is new to Make. And then Renee will introduce himself and Win Growth and some of the amazing work that they're doing there. And then we'll get into the main part of the session. We'll basically look into how Renee leverages Make and AI to streamline content generation. Then he's going to show us a live demo, basically giving us a view of how it looks in practice. And then finally, we'll have time for some Q&As at the end. But please, throughout the session, feel free to send your questions ahead of time. There's a Q&A box that should be at the bottom of your Zoom window. And please make sure to include it there and not in the chat. The quicker you get it in there or the earlier you get it in there, we'll get to it first and on time. And so, yeah, so make sure you add it there so we don't miss them. Also, stay tuned all the way to the end. We have a special freebie, as we always do. And Renee has kindly offered some other bits as well. So, yeah, please make sure to stay tuned till the end to find out. So, all of you are familiar with Make, I'm sure, is what I tell myself. But for those who aren't, Make is an integration and automation no-code platform that allows you to combine a huge number of tools, including AI tools, to help you build anything from simple to complex workflows depending on your needs. So problems that in the past would have needed technical developer support now can be handled by business users. We have a vast and diverse number of paying active organizations using Make and a lot of very satisfied customers, if I do say so myself. So we've been around a few years now. We're backed by Salonis, and yeah, as I say, a great spread of different types of customers. We've had some very exciting news in the AI space. We recently launched Make AI agents to public beta. Won't go into too much detail in this session, but what makes AI agents basically allow you to build and manage your own intelligent AI agents. You can customize them according to what your business needs. And basically, you have all the agility you enjoy with Make currently. You can now pair that with flexible and scalable AI agents. As I say, I won't go into too much detail today, but if you want to find out more, go to make.com/make AI agents. So our guest for today, Renee, is a founder of an agency, automation agency called Wind Growth, and he's doing some very exciting stuff with automation for a number of their clients. Renee, would you mind introducing yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Renee. I'm the founder of Windgrow. So we're originally a Canadian from Quebec company. We do operations and AI automations. So we build custom automation systems using automation tools like make.com, which is a tool we use pretty much for every client. And then we do some scripting and AI models as well. We've been in the market for 3 to 4 years now. And we work primarily with fast growth agencies in different industries. So YouTube agencies, sales agencies, lead generation, name it. There's plenty of industries we work with. And we have been working over those past 3 years with 90 plus clients so far. So either implementation work or consultation. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Renee. And please, yeah, do make sure to take advantage because the solution that Renee is going to share with us today is, I'm sure, every and any business can make use of. So, yeah, we'll go into more detail soon. So, as I've already shared, the content problem isn't just a writing issue. There are so many different things to think about if you want to generate content consistently and of a certain quality. So I'll pass it over to you now, Renee. Maybe you can introduce
Yep.
the challenge that a lot of businesses or your clients will face when it comes to effectively creating content.
Yep, 100%. So the main challenge is time here. Every business is small, medium, big agency, or a business in general know that in 2025 you need to be making content to get clientele and also make yourself a solid background on the internet. The problem with this is the small agencies, they don't necessarily have the time, or even the medium agencies don't have the time to be making this content across all the platforms because, quite frankly, this is a full-time job. And so depending if you have someone full-time doing this or not, you're going to be competing against people that do have the time to do this. So that's the main challenge. And quite frankly, if you want to stay on top of the game when it comes to content, you have to do a lot of different platforms. So when I say platforms, it means you have LinkedIn, common one. Twitter, maybe you like to be on Twitter. YouTube is super good as well for businesses. Maybe you do blog posts, maybe you do newsletters as well. That's a lot of different format that you need to be making content on and planning this content. And content consistency is the key. So you have to be posting constantly. So that's the main challenge here that we're facing when we're talking about content. I said here in the conservative estimate, 20 plus hours per month, but realistically, depending on what kind of output you're looking at 50, 100 plus hours per month easily. So one of the things with this is people started to use AI to output content, but they started using generic AI. So just asking ChatGPT to output a post about a certain topic that they want to talk about. And then they just copy paste this post thinking that it's good for them. The reality is this sounds too generic. And for anyone that's used to be reading online AI, it shows that it's AI. So what it does is it doesn't help you get clients. Quite frankly, it alienate people online now. So it hurts your brand image. So it doesn't do any good when you're doing this and not personalizing the message. So using generic AI is not really the answer to the challenge here. Also, if you post if you post on different platforms, the analytics are fragmented everywhere. So it can quickly become another full-time job to just go back in time onto all those different platforms, all the different posts that you've done, and try to centralize this data to take informed decisions based on data and not just emotions. Like what's actually working and what should you be posting more of if you want to have a chance of getting more customers with content. So most people use AI right now for quantity and not so much for quality, and this is what the system is kind of flipping around.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that third bullet point especially is very, very important to highlight. I don't know about you, but I can see across LinkedIn and Twitter, you can see that, infamous M dash, that is a dead giveaway that someone has just copied and pasted from ChatGPT, or is that it's AI generated. But as you said, it's quite a risky commercial strategy to not have any, no review process, to just go straight from an LLM straight to your public facing channels. As you say, there's a potential brand reputation risk there, and you end up producing content that reads like it's on a receipt, no character, no tone of voice, no authenticity. So yeah, very interesting point, and we'll probably get to how we can overcome that. So shall I pass over to you, Renee, and you take it from here?
Yes, 100%. I can take it from here with the share screen. Let me know when you can see it.
All good.
Perfect. So the solution that we've created is essentially consisted of two things. We have a front end on Airtable and the back end, and I'm going to explain right now the 6 steps that we have inside this. But when I'm going to show visual, just know that this is Airtable, and everyone can build interface on this, and I'm going to show the inside of it as well. So the solution, the first step that we have here is you have to come up with ideas when you want to be making content. And at the beginning, that can be easy because you've got all those things that you want to talk about. But if you want to be posting constantly, you're quickly going to run out of ideas. So one of the things that I've built to generate those ideas for me, so I never have the blank page syndrome, is a way to go onto the internet and scrape all the industry relevant news for myself. So it has a hidden benefit. It's not just about generating ideas. I can also stay updated on what's happening in my area. So operations, automation, AI, and all that stuff. And that gives me the occasion of actually creating new ideas based on this. So I can generate a post of something, an article that just came out 15 minutes ago, and I can be the first one to talk about it on LinkedIn, no problem. So that's the first step that I'm going to be showcasing. Then what we want to do here to personalize the AI, there's 3 layers of personalization to not sound generic. There is your company profile. So the company profile is like, what's your business about? What are your values? Who are your ideal customers? What are their pain points? What are you selling? That sort of question. Then there's a writer profile. So who's writing? The different ways of, everyone writes differently. And so we want to be mimicking like an actual writing of someone that's good at writing. And then we're going to be using this writer profile across all the future posts that we're going to be making. Then there's the platform profile. So if you write on LinkedIn, or if you write on Twitter, or if you do YouTube scripts, those are all going to be different ways of writing content. Could be the same idea, but the content is not going to be exactly the same. The thing is, if you do everything manually right now, this is why it takes a lot of time. You have to account for all the different guidelines. LinkedIn is generally more professional than Twitter is, right? For example, Twitter is more short news. If you write a script for YouTube, you need to grab the attention of the person that's watching. So then you will need to have different kind of hooks, and then you will need to give value in short bursts on YouTube, for example. So quite different than LinkedIn itself. And we train the AI on those different platforms guidelines. The fifth thing is going to be to generate the post now and the ideas with AI. So taking into consideration the 3 layers that we have, your company, the writer profile, and the platform profile, now we're going to generate posts that are not only, they track exactly how you write and what platform you use and what's your company about. It keeps this same structure across all the future posts that you're going to do. So it's not like you are a copywriter and then you have 10 clients. You have to remember how you talk about every different business, who they're selling to, the way you want to come across. This system does it for you. And the sixth step, of course, when you do content and you want to be consistent with it, it's about managing your content pipeline. So I've also built the system that comes with an extra layer, if you will, to manage your content pipeline and track your analytics. So if we jump right into it, the first step, how this looks, the trend on idea collection. What I've built is a way with make.com to collect RSS feeds, newsletters, Reddit posts, could also be keywords online, Twitter, LinkedIn that you scrape for, key opinion leaders that you're also following. It could be anything that you want to follow. And what we do is we collect this automatically, and then we use AI with your company profile to decide and attribute a score. If this is a relevant piece of information for you and the customers you're trying to sell to. If it's not, then it's going to give a low score. If it is, it's going to give a high score. So AI, we use it here to categorize what should you be keeping track of and maybe making content of, or what should you be just skipping so it doesn't waste your time, okay? This first point here is like it's really two bonus in one because you stay informed as well on your industry. What we do ourselves, but this could be really anything, is we add this to Airtable as a database, but also as a front end for software. So we can quickly see those articles and those scores. I'm going to be showing this a little bit more in depth, but here's a picture of how this looks. And you're going to see today we received like 3 new articles as well with new scores. So I'm going to be using fresh information today as well for the demonstration.
Quick question, Renee. So are there the kinds of sources you get this information from? Is there a limit to it? Like what are there any limits is my question basically to where you can get this information from?
That's a good question, and there's really no limit. It's more of like a research process. How many sources do you want to follow and track? So this could be time intensive to set up initially, but once it's set up, and you just track it. For myself, I have about 6 or 7 different sources, and every day it scrapes information that comes from there, and we receive it inside Airtable. But there's no limit. If you want to track 50 different things, you can.
And if I wanted to say, could you use a different database to Airtable, or is Airtable the best in your experience?
It's anything works, but I like Airtable because it's really like a Swiss knife where you can have a database and you can also create interface very quickly. But there's also smart suits that I like that kind of do the same thing, although the interface are not the same. Or anything you're familiar with is gonna work, to be honest here. It could be a Notion as well, although it's gonna be different. I use Airtable because we create custom automation inside and use Airtable for triggers.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Perfect. So the second layer is we want to train the AI on your company profile. So this looks more, I'm going to show here, this looks more like the classic onboarding form that you're filling out for yourself or that you're asking from your new clients. We're talking about in-depth information here that you want to know. So what's your business doing? What service do you offer? What are your values? How do you want to come across when you write a post? Who's your ideal customer profile? What are their pain points? Just to name a few questions that usually are going to go into onboarding forms. And so we store this information inside Airtable, which looks like this. And we reuse this information for all the future AI prompting that we're doing, okay? If you're a ghostwriting agency or anything that has many clients that you're writing for, this is where it really is cool because you could store your 50 client company profile in there, and then it would just keep them in storage, and you don't have to think about it. Then we get into creating infinite writer personas because yes, you can have 1 or you can have 50 or you can have 100. It doesn't really matter here. We feed the way we do this, and this is very important when you use AI. It's all about the data that you feed in, okay? So if you want to train AI, here we use Claude for writing because Claude is arguably, at the time of making this webinar, the best AI for writing purposes. So what we do is we get hundreds of pages of text material from the same copywriter. we feed it into Claude with our prompt, which is, by the way, going to be available at the end for free. So you can take this prompt again. And we basically create a persona. So we analyze the voice, the language, the pattern, any kind of rhetoric it has. It's very more in depth than just those three things, but it creates a writer profile that you can reuse to create any kind of text after that. So this makes sure that whenever you want to create a post, you can go and select what kind of writer profile, who's going to write that specific text, and it's going to maintain a cohesive writing style. Okay. Then last layer is the platform specific training. We, like a writer, we use the same type of training material, but we do guides for different platforms. So the way we train LinkedIn, how to write posts on LinkedIn, is we had 70 pages of resource on how to make it on LinkedIn. How do we write a post for LinkedIn? What kind of hooks should there be on LinkedIn? And we fed this into Claude, which created a profile that we then store inside our table again, and that we use to create those texts. So it looks like this: LinkedIn, Twitter. Just to give you guys a quick example, actionable example, you don't have to be a good copywriter to utilize the systems. I personally, the writer profile that I like using is a good copywriter that has a newsletter that he sends on a weekly basis. What I did is scrape all his newsletter, feed this into AI, and mimic his writing profile. Because I'm French Canadian, so my English is not on his level. Same thing for platforms. You can scrape the top 10 YouTube videos about how to go viral on Twitter. You take the scripts, you feed this into AI, and then now it's got all the insights. So the fifth thing here after that is we take those three different layers and we combine them into every prompt that we do to generate a post. I'm going to show in a demo real quick how this looks, but we generate a post for all the different platforms that we selected, and as a bonus to it, we generate image as well based on the post, so that you can have AI-made image ready to post if you don't have anything that you made yourself. So it looks our front end looks a little bit like this, where you can see a draft and you can see the image that are made. The sixth thing here, last thing, is it's not like it's something separate. You could do this differently, but it's about managing your content pipeline. So it's very important that you keep track of what you're going to post on which platform when. And then additionally to this, you keep track of the analytics, because you improve what you measure. So you want to know and understand, did this specific post that you made where you were talking as an expert, did it resonate with your audience? And did it actually generate clients for you? If the answer is not, maybe you shouldn't be doing more of that. You should be doing something else, for example. So here, tracking analytics, but I'm going to show this in the demo itself.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to see this in action now. We're also getting quite a few questions. Just a reminder, keep them coming, but please make sure to include them in the Q&A box. It will be right next to the chat box at the bottom of your Zoom window. Back to you, Renee.
Perfect. So let me just reload those pages again, because it's been a while. Perfect. So how does this look inside Airtable? For those that are not familiar, Airtable is just a database where you can create those nice interfaces real quick. It's like playing with block Legos. I made this. That's also available online. So we're greeted by a quick home. Then we have a tab for users, because many people could be running posts inside your business. And so it's not just useful for solo founders, but it's also useful for if you have a team of 5 marketing people that work for you. We can have all the different users there. Then here it's very simple, company profile. We can add as much as we want and have all the information like I was talking about, like you would fill on an onboarding form. The different writer profile, the different platform profile. But here we're going to get into actually like how we generate, because that's the thing that you guys probably want to see as much. So here, this is my trend list. So right now we see there's 70 pieces of news that I have, and this is updated in real time based on what I have. Score range from 5 to 90. Okay, so 5, I will probably ignore and even like delete this from my system because it's not relevant. But 85, I could go into here and look at it. Okay, so I have AI suggesting 5 or 6 ways I could leverage this piece of content for my own marketing. I have some notes. I have the article itself, so I could stay updated. Um, I could decide I'm going to do this at the same time while I talk because this takes about 25 seconds. But if I want to decide to make a post out of this, I can push it to whatever user is using this content piece right now. So now I put Renee, takes about 25 seconds. And then we're going to see under here, it's going to generate with AI an idea. So the title of the post based on this whole article here. Okay. And while this is, okay, this just got done. We can also see what AI identifies as pain points in the article. So if you just want to skim really quickly about the things that you're receiving, you can see, okay, here are the key themes, here are the target pain points. Why is this core there? What I use the most is this, because this gives me like 3 to 6 suggestions to leverage this for content marketing. So it's not just about a post. Maybe there's something in there I can reuse in different platforms. But let's go here. This is the front end, by the way. The AI created this post title based on this article. So while AI leaders see 7 to 10% productivity gains, most businesses still struggle at the proof of concept stage. So I could go and read the article and try to understand why it says this. I could maybe, if I don't like the statistics that it says, this is where I can go manually modify this, because here's the thing about quality. We don't want AI to generate 100% of what you're going to be posting. We want a human that actually has an impact in this and modify it, okay, so it fits. If you have case studies about this specific topic for your own business, this is where you're getting in and you're adding the statistics about your own case studies, because AI is going to use your case studies to generate posts, okay? Let's say here, I'm not going to modify it because I don't need to. This is where I would select, okay, I'm writing for Wincrow. I'm going to write using the unknown writer profile. I just know what kind of text it is. And then I'm just going to do, for speed purposes, a post on LinkedIn, but I could also do Twitter at the same time. It's going to generate everything, okay? Here, specificity for draft, this is where if I had a case studies, I could paste the entire case study I have in text there, and AI would take this into consideration for the post it's going to generate, okay? I'm going to click on generate and quickly come here, and we're going to see it go in live situation. So what it does is it get all the information, the idea, the writer profile, the platform profile, and the company profile as well. Then it goes into the first draft here. This is Claude. It creates a draft with all this information. Once it's done, I'm going to show, well, actually, I can click on it and show the different prompt. No, I'll wait until it's done because I cannot click on it. What it does here is it generates the draft. Then we use AI, so we use Claude to create another prompt to create the image. So this is an API access to Midjourney, AI generating for image, basically. So we use AI to create a prompt that prompts AI. It's very cool when you think about it. I'm going to wait because this has like a 3-minute timer. I'm going to show you what kind of drafts it creates, and then we're going to go back to it so I can click and show you the prompt. But you have access to the prompt later as well at the end.
Renee,
so here,
I
go
just
ahead,
want to
Michael.
highlight the point you mentioned earlier about basically the fact that you can come in and personalize it is what we were talking about earlier, isn't it? Is the fact that it's not just AI generated. You have the opportunity, it gives you the opportunity to have a human in the loop so that you can personalize it as much as you want. I think that's a really, really important point to highlight.
Yes, 100%. So here, this is where I would go, because this can be all modified manually. Like I can decide to delete this and then just write something else, right? This is where I will personally go, and that's what I encourage people to do, is go in this, see, okay, do I like what this is, like how this is written? Yes or no, then I can use it. Can I plug one of my case studies differently in there? Can I change the statistics according to my own case study? And this is where I would get the post ready. Usually I can do this in like 3 to 5 minutes or even less, okay? Sometimes it's very, very good. I just modify one thing to put my case study. It takes me 30 seconds and then it's good to go on LinkedIn. But you can see here, it likes to take the LinkedIn format specifically. Okay, we put arrows and we like to explain micro points. And then maybe we give an analogy in there and we have some results. People love to see what kind of like results you're getting after an explanation. Then at the end, of course, this is a classic on LinkedIn, comment something to get the user to stay more in the post, comment something, and then you gain traction on um, the actual post itself. And then even a personalized section under like, oh, we actually review your results. Um, the more that you keep your viewer attention on this post on LinkedIn, the better the algorithm likes you, and then the more you go viral. The AI knows this because we train it on those things here. Okay. The last thing, very quickly, this is content pipeline. How the way you manage your content, this is really strictly up to you, how you like doing it. Maybe you just want to post twice a week on 2 different platforms. Maybe you want to be posting 5 times a week on LinkedIn, 5 times a week on Twitter. This can really quickly become heavy to do in terms of maintenance. So you want to have a very organized system. The way we do this is I both have a calendar and Kanban view to do this. And I'm going to have everything. Okay, what post is going at what date on what platform, what type of post it is, thought leadership, personal story, etc. Then I'll keep track of the post because I want this URL in the future to go back and get the analytics itself. Because here we have that. Whoops, we have dashboards to track all the different posts that you do, views, like over time, comments, share over time, what's the best post, etc. Okay. So I'm going quickly over this because it's not really the point of the webinar to talk about this specifically, but all of this can be also automated using different API. Okay, and I like to manage as well using Kanban view. But for the demo, this is pretty much how the system looks in the inside. If I just go back to the slide.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Renee. That's that, judging by the comments and all the questions and all the discussion that you've sparked, I think people are starting to, the dots are starting to connect in people's heads about how this could be useful for them. So that was very, very interesting to see. So basically, this process of building out the solution is essentially similar to, I would phrase it, correct me if I'm wrong, as building your own content teammate, basically, in some way. You're essentially, instead of being forced to spend hours, researching, creating, then recreating for different platforms, essentially you can build yourself an AI content writer who all you just have to do is point them in the right direction of where to find ideas, train them on your specific brand and company, give them some guidelines, give them some tone of voice guidelines, and then basically watch them create as much content on as many platforms as you need. Is that correct estimation?
Yes, that's pretty accurate. And I really want to put the emphasis on I think AI should be used to leverage your talent and as well, like keep your personality when you write content because that's what people want to see, quite frankly. Um, what we see it and people don't like it when you write with generic AI. There's no personalization. And ultimately, there's a big difference between someone that keeps a certain personality in the post and someone who doesn't. And that's where systems like this, where you have a human in the loop, are, they're kind of superior to the system that exists out there that automatically output content on LinkedIn and different platforms for you, because the difference is like night and day.
Excellent. So yeah, I can immediately see how, not just the hours saved, but the potential, not just efficiency gains, but like in terms of your audience, we can easily see how that can, 2x, 3x, depending on how many people you have in your context, that could very quickly you could start to see some returns. So yeah, very, very interesting. Thank you very much, Renee. So I see there are a few questions already. I have some of my own, but I don't want to be too selfish today. So maybe let's see if we can go to our Q&A now.
Yep.
Where are we? And guys, please feel free to keep adding them into to the Q&A box, and we'll get them answered as soon as we can. So the very first one is from Pal, and he says or they say, I should say, not to guess. The issue I see is that AI generated content often ends up looking very similar with the same structure and format. How can we diversify the content and format and structure to ensure it delivers maximum value?
It's a very good question. So here, like I mentioned, you have the different writer profile, platform profile that you can play with. So let's say that you want to diversify how you write your personal stories, thought leadership posts, expert posts. You have different kind of posts because you can really go in depth into this. Then you could be making four different writer profile with yourself as the copywriter, but keeping just training the AI on those different type of posts. So now you're not just outputting one type of format, you're outputting four type of format posts with your own voice according to your business and what you sell and how you want to come across. So I presented it real quick, okay, what we do with one of each, but really you can go more in depth into how you train the AI to make what you want with it.
Got it. Thank you, Pal. I hope that answers your question. Next question is from Sven. Is it necessary to use one separate scenario and make per RSS source?
So the way I built it, yes, I would say. Although you can probably get creative with this, it's probably doable to do it differently. But the RSS module and Make itself, it's going to allow you to have one link. But I can see instance where you have like a HTTP scraper and you have a Google Sheet with different links, and then you can get really um, solid with this in different ways and get creative. Sorry, that's what the word I was looking for. Yeah, for simplicity reason though, I just kept it at one and then I just duplicate the flow.
Got it. Got it. We have a question from Wes. What made you choose Anthropic to analyze the data to make the decision on why it's as relevant content compared to OpenAI or Gemini?
Right, that's a good question. Quite frankly, all the AI models evolve every day. There's something new coming out. Based on experience, Anthropic Claude is the best one for writing. Now, this comes from experience because I do work with 40 plus lead gen agencies. So all they do is generate a lot of content. And that's uniform decision across all those agencies. Claude is the best one so far for writing content. That said, tomorrow it could be different. Who knows? You have to stay on top of the news for this. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I feel like we get a new AI development every hour. Probably in the time we've been doing this webinar, something has changed. So yeah, thank you. Nate Jones wants to know, what if the writer doesn't have a large volume of existing content to train with?
Then I would say don't use AI until you do. I think if I speak operationally speaking, not just for content, but across my client, people try to install AI and AI agents into business that don't have the data to support it, and that's just a mistake to do so. You want to have solid process that includes content, and you want to have good data base to train your AI on. Until you do have it, then don't do it.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, that's an important distinction is to know when to introduce AI and when, to keep things old school. Some things are still good with old school. We have a AS question asking, which app did you use for the front end?
Yeah, so the front end is Airtable. So it looks like Google Sheet, but it's not a Google Sheet. It's a full-blown relational database. But they simplified it so that you can create interface on it with your data and play with it. So whenever I make software and I want to keep it simple for clients, I like to use Airtable for pretty much all of this, unless we require something way more complex. And then I'm going to use other solutions. But Airtable, uh, small to super big companies use Airtable for a reason.
I think we have a similar question around that. So all of this database with Airtable, with profiles, company information, and writers, could it be replicated on Notion as well?
Um, okay, so I haven't done the setup, but if I think out loud, I am not sure that you could get 100% of the results because Notion is way harder to integrate than Airtable is. I use a lot of webhooks to go from Airtable to AI itself. A webhook is just, allows you to just click on a button somewhere on Airtable interface, sends the information to make.com. This is my preferred approach. And as far as I know, Notion doesn't really allow for this specifically.
Got it. So no favorites, but Airtable. Uh,
Yeah, Notion is usually good for organization document, but whenever you want to scale databases, it's not my first choice.
got it. Got it. We've got a question from Michael. Great name, Michael. Is the prompt Claude generates for the image predefined in the system?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat that? It cuts for me.
Is the prompt Claude generates for the image, is it predefined in the system?
No, so it's not predefined. The way I've made it, and this is in the blueprints at the end, if you go on the URL that you see right now, um, it's built using the post that we just generated. Okay, so sometimes it's honestly speaking, sometimes it's very good and I like the idea. Sometimes it's not, and I just regenerate image. But most of the time, I don't use AI generated image. It's just there to be a filler in case. I prefer to do illustration by myself because people like to see when you do end drawing or post that image that you make yourself. But it's there in case you have nothing. An image is better than nothing.
Got it. You should be able to see on your screen. Renee, would you mind sharing the QR code just so they know where to go to get the freebies?
Uh, don't you see the QR code right now?
I don't think we're sharing currently, if you would
Oh, one
mind.
sec.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting some signals saying they see it, so all good.
Okay, I just shared again in case.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So we'll try and get through the rest of these questions. Damien wants to know, what do you use to perform an API call to Midjourney? As far as I know, they don't offer an API themselves.
Yeah, that's a little workaround. I use Pi API. It's not official. It's a workaround.
So we got a little hack there, a little hack there that we'll keep between ourselves.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Excellent. Natty wants to know how to automate the analytics part from social media. You named the API. How did you do it? Great process and execution, pretty neat and clean. Thank you, Natty.
Yeah, so to automate the scraping of data on the different platform, you're going to be wanting to use Apify, which has a lot of different APIs that are custom made to go and scrape this. Because if you know LinkedIn, LinkedIn is not super cool to work with in terms of API. I would say it's pretty close. So you need to be using Apify to do this. Same thing a little bit for YouTube as well. Um, Generally speaking, anything that you want to go scrape online that you don't find an official API for it, go on Apify.
Got it. Thank you. For the image generation part, is there an automation flow to define brand guidelines in Windgrowth? And that's from Wajia.
No, so currently we didn't make this. There are images that are just generated based on the post, but I could see this being doable 100%.
Got it. Question from Daniel. Is Airtable the front end for managing the content pipeline? What feature of Airtable is that?
Yeah, it's an interface that we made. So database of all your different posts, and then you create yourself a calendar or Kanban view or both. And then it's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure there are pre-made templates for certain things like this, or YouTube as well. A lot of people shared a lot of resources on Airtable on how to manage your content because it's such a hot topic, let's say.
Got it. Christoph wants to know, how did you test and improve the prompts? I noticed that you include some document content in the prompt. Are those specific prompt details that are easier to handle?
Yes, so the documents, the Google Doc that there is in this is like this is one scenario, well, two scenario that we use just to train the AI profile, and then we don't reuse this specifically after, unless you want to like retrain it on new data that you have. So we train those profiles using Google Doc. You just paste all your information into it, and it's easy to use. It's like more agnostic because it's just a Google Doc link, but you could use PDF as well, and feed different things. Um, and inside the system itself to generate the draft, it was a lot of testing on, what kind of data we want to use and how we prompt Claude itself just to get the output that we want. So yeah.
Got it. It's a question from Douglas. Is this a SaaS tool, i.e., sign up and with a subscription, or do you need to do a bunch of single time setups with multiple, iterations? Basically, is this a repeatable process, or do you have to do multiple different single processes?
Yeah, so this is not a SaaS tool. The front end that you saw is basically custom built by us, Wingrowth. This is something that if you want, you can just email me at this email and we can install inside your business for sure. The different process itself to generate the post, it's going to be all the same automation, the blueprints that we just gave with this link that you see on the screen. But when it comes to RSS feeds, newsletters, and everything, this is way more customized for depending on what you want to scrape. This basically involves a research phase where, okay, you have to find the RSS feeds that are relevant to you. You have to find good newsletters. You have to find key opinion leaders and keywords that you want to be tracking online. So there's a very customized side and this thing for sure.
Thank you very much. A few more. M wants to know if I've got it right, the Airtable serves you as the database and the user UI. You trigger the automations from Airtable and have all the human in the loop steps there, allowing you to tweak the AI output before moving to the next step. How does it work with webhooks?
Yeah, exactly. So the webhook process, without going too much into the details to not bore everyone, on Airtable, the UI, you have buttons or check mark or whatever, which and the automation section of Airtable triggers a script. So you have a script, and that script sends a webhook. Inside make.com, you have the webhook receiver. And this is how the information can flow from Airtable to make.com itself. And then on Make, inside Make, sorry, you can do whatever you want with this information. So we transform the information. It's where we generate the posts and using all the information. And then we send it back to Airtable. And this is kind of how we can technically build a SaaS or a software using webhooks and a front end and then make in between to automate.
Got it. The next couple of questions from Sarah and Juan are essentially the same question. How does this work if my content isn't written? If it's audio or video, how would this process work for them?
Okay, so this system here is made for text only, but if you wanted to do audio, I have the idea right here. Use 11 Labs. So you generate the AI, you generate the text with AI, and then use 11 Labs by cloning your own voice and get it in audio format, and that's gonna work just fine. If you don't have a heavy French accent like mine.
Matthias wants to know, is the benefit of using Airtable versus Google Sheets that you can create the interface that you shared with us?
Oh, it's one of the many benefits, 100%. Google Sheet is, let's call it, the free starter tool, but as soon as you start getting serious, you need something to be more organized and quite frankly scale. Airtable is just that one tool that doesn't cost much and do exactly that. Um, and the one thing that's really hard because you can create app script inside Google Sheets, sorry, and have automation, but as someone who previously worked with those and transferred business that were coming from those, it's so messy with when they scale with this. I recommend just Airtable and automation in there. It's way more organized.
Got it. We've got about 5 minutes or so left, so I'll try and get through the rest of these questions as quickly as possible. So Daniel wants to know, in the specific case of posting carousels on LinkedIn, how can you automate this kind of process? Basically, yeah, how can you automate this kind of process for LinkedIn carousels?
Yeah, so um, right now the system that I built that I show is not built for this, but you could probably automate this with Canva when it comes to carousels. Or I don't have anything else that comes to my mind right now, but the process of making, let's say, 6 or 7 carousels that are image generated with the text that you have, this is for sure doable, and I know people are doing it. Canva would be my best guess right now. You start from a text, and then it generates your image with your branding guidelines. That's the approach I would take if I had to do this for a client right now.
Thank you very much. Adrian wants to know, is there a way to have a blueprint to base the Airtable on?
So for the Airtable build, because this is something super custom we've made, it's something that we sell as a product for our own company. So if you want the build, either you can try to build it with how you like it using this webinar, or you can shoot me a message on LinkedIn or email, and you can get this installed for you.
Great. When content being written for different purposes, such as SEO blog content versus social media content, should I create two separate pipelines completely different, or can we leverage a single pipeline?
So you want to be creating one content pipeline. You just want to divide it. If you were using Airtable, for example, you want to divide the type of posts, just stay organized so you can use color codes for this. But I am a huge advocate for centralizing everything that you do. So don't use like too many, sorry, too many different views. Um, Centralize everything one pipeline, manage from there, and just make sure you have different writer profile for different kind of things that you're writing. In your case, blog SEO would be a platform story, and then if you were posting socials, LinkedIn would be another platform, Twitter another platform.
Question from Jose. How do you manage illustrations for these projects? Do you create them and then upload them to the tool?
So the illustrations basically are generated by the Midjourney thing. They go directly inside Airtable. You download them and you put them inside your post on any socials. If I wanted to put my own illustration, then you can just create an attachment file on the post itself and the Airtable database and import your illustrations there. There's not an issue. It works for PDF, image, or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing quite a lot of Airtable love in the comments. I think you've started a
Yeah.
revolution, Renee. We have a question from Gabriel. It says, "How did you train Claude? Did you do it via Make?"
Yeah, I use Make to train Claude. So it starts from on the way I do it is I put all the written text that I want to train it on in a Google Doc. Again, this could be PDF if you just adjust the flow. Right now, the one that you can download is made for Google Doc. And then we feed this information to Claude, and we have Claude output the profile, like a very detailed psychological profile for writing styles and platform styles. And that's pretty much how it's trained. We reuse that profile across all the different resources that we create.
Got it. Last few ones because we're coming up on time now. Is there a true human in the loop mechanism, ideally one that supports looped iterations?
Yeah, so the human in the loop is built inside Airtable itself here. So there are buttons, I haven't shown them, but there are buttons to re-roll the draft. There are buttons to create new hooks. You can modify, you can add specificities, generate draft on your new specificities that you manually input. It's really AI plus human process itself if you look at the UI on Airtable and inside this call. That said, if you really if what you wanted was to automate 100% with AI, this could also be doable with that UI. I don't recommend it, but this could be doable.
Got it. And I think one of the last questions was around how to find the blueprints. And if you're able to see the short URL in the bottom right of your screen right now, if you go there, Renee has kindly gathered all of the resources you'll need to get going and experimenting. I think we are just on time now, so I will wrap it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. This was one of the most spirited and enjoyable sessions. I can see a lot of conversations have been sparked as well. So thank you all for being an amazing Make community and supporting each other as you always do. Where can people reach you, Renee, if they want to find out more?
Yeah, 100%. So I can be reached on LinkedIn. So this is the end of my link, Rene Carl. I can also be reached by email, rene@windgold.com. And also, if you're interested to see a lot of the automation build that we do, I have a YouTube that I'm pushing actively right now, just done a video today as well. So it's Rene Lambert and the Pipes thing, Sign AI automation. And there's my website as well if you want to book a meeting with us.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Renee, and thank you all again for your time. And we will see you again very soon for another session. All the best,
Thank you,
guys.
Michael.
Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.